here on twitch.tv/lichess.org. Also on YouTube. Yes, we're on both platforms. Hope you're all having a great day so far. I'm not going to take that pawn on e4 because it runs into queen a4 check. Hello, Fit Tony. What's up, No Joke Chess in the chat? Good to see you. Let's see how YouTube's doing. Hello, Benjamin. Also, Dave89. Big Spence. P. Kioff. Great to see everyone there. Thank you for that, P. Kioff, by the way. Says the best streamer. Hopefully I get a game. Yes, hopefully you get a game as well. How are you guys feeling this piece set? I don't know. I just switched it up, but I am open to changing it if you guys are not feeling this particular piece set. Let's play rook e8. I'm going to meet bishop h6 with bishop h8. We're going to try to keep our dark square bishop. I don't know why. I just switched it right before I went live. Rook b8. This is typically how you want to handle these kind of closed Sicilian positions. Look for play on the queen side. Hello, Mojo Jojo. Greeting suspect agent. Let's go ahead and play b5. I'm not too worried about moving this light square bishop early because that will probably clarify. It'll clarify where this bishop belongs. Hello, Slago Rourke. Greetings to you as well. Okay, I could take and then infiltrate. I kind of like the look of that, so I'm going to do it. Take and drop the rook into b2. I'm attacking this pawn, so that kind of gains a tempo. Maybe queen a5 coming up. I feel like this knight is somewhat poorly placed. Blunder Champ says, "Hi, John. I see the Christmas tree has been replaced by your king." Yeah, sadly, the tree had to come down. Yes. Rook b1 is probably next, huh? But now this makes sense because I'm on this pawn a couple times. Greetings, Abyss. So, just to recap what Lichess Plays is all about, if this is your first time joining, welcome and thank you. And thank you to all the long-term viewers as well. I'm playing Blitz against you guys, the viewers, for the next 2 hours. It's 3+0. So if you're going to challenge me, my username is Fins, F-I-N-S. If you're going to challenge me, make sure it's 3+0. It has to be that time control. And it can be casual or rated. No stipulations on that. And that's pretty much it. Thinking about a couple different things here. Moving the knight. There's definitely some potential for pressure on c3. I could just scoop this too. Like, that's probably the most clinical thing to do here. But I'm really tempted to move this knight, like knight d7, and get it aimed against that pawn. Let me just think for a moment. That might actually be decent. But you know what? I'm just going to bank the pawn. I'm already thinking for a little bit, so I should just go ahead and do this. Oh, knight d4 would have been interesting. But, yeah, it would have been interesting. We'll take a look after the game. I'll be curious what the computer likes there. I think I have a couple different good ways to have played this. John, you are my second favorite streamer. My first is Magnus. Yeah, Magnus is a pretty good streamer. Unfortunately, he doesn't stream too often. But I do not fault you for that. All right, we're going to creep closer here because now knight g4 is just not good. We've got that pressure down on b2. So White's got to figure this out. This is not simple for White to disentangle. Let's see how I do this week. I've had some tough games recently in Lichess Plays. Was it last week? I think I lost 2 games. You guys don't make it easy, that's for sure. Let's go here. So again, attacking this pawn. Maybe I'm going to get White to retreat. No, White does not retreat. But now we just scoop this up. And I think here I'm just going to be winning some juicy material. Attack the rook. And if the rook moves, bye-bye knight. Oh, my opponent's doubling down. But I can take this one. We're going to take that piece there. Just recapture. Hello, KZ. Yes, I do. Yeah, you can feel free to send me a message on Lichess, or you can go to my YouTube page, my personal channel, which is just John Bartholomew. If you search that, you can feel free to send me a message. Ooh. Pin. My poor opponent is getting pinned and attacked every which way in this game. I still got to make sure that I win, though. You guys ready for another pin? Yet another pin. Brutal. Okay, resigns. Thank you for the game. Nice Ben. Yeah. I just think these positions are easier to play for black than white because if you're going bishop h6, it makes sense that you would try to follow through with an attack. But yeah, I don't think this setup impresses very much because if you're going to go h4, h5, it's not clear where your king's going to end up. I wouldn't recommend playing this way. Little easier for black. Thank you for the game. All right, we got over 50 challenges. This is great. I usually average about 20 games per stream in these Lichess plays. Hesse 100, you're up. Nick asks a good question. Says fins to the left or fins to the right? Well, the most important thing is that you're the only bait in town. That is the origin of my username, by the way. The song Fins by the great American musician Jimmy Buffett. Yes, that's right, Hesse. That's right, you're up. Don't blunder a fork, Hesse. Do not blunder knight f3. I'm going to test you again. Good, he's avoiding it. Okay, third time was not the charm. Yeah, so you always got to watch out for this when you have two minor pieces separated by a single square in between on the same rank. They're susceptible to a pawn fork. Happens a lot in the London system. Okay, we're going to put Hesse through the paces once again coming up here. Hey, Edward Reynolds. Okay, goes and attacks my queen. I was intending to put the bishop here to get a long-range queen-bishop battery. Ooh, aggressive move. Interesting one. So if I take the knight, he's going to take the rook down here. I'll go here. Prepare to play bishop b7. Yeah, rye bread fungus. You know, it's good for you guys to take me down occasionally. And make no mistake, I don't pull any punches. I'm fighting. I try to go perfect every week, and it doesn't always work out that way. Yeah, the face cam does block the material count. That's kind of unavoidable. There's a bit of a, question where to put the face cam. I think some Lichess streamers put it on the left-hand side. I prefer to have it on the right-hand side. All right, now I can take this, though. You should get used to counting the material yourself, though. I will say that. So although it makes it maybe a little easier for observing, you always want to have that material count in mind. Hey, Michael Alexander. Not too much, man. We're just getting started here. Okay. So I'm up a grip of material in this position. Let's play A5. Look to fight back a little bit over there. Get the bishop out finally. You like that London fork? Yeah, that happens so often, this whole E4 operation. And London players, I mean, those are the natural squares for those two pieces, but you got to watch out for that, always. I'm going to try to castle by hand here, mostly to get my rook involved. White still has all their pawns, so I got to gradually break that down. Side the king. When I first started streaming, did I get nervous? Yeah, definitely. I started streaming on YouTube back in the day, probably 2015, 16 or so. And for sure, yeah, the first, few streams, I was really self-conscious. I watched them back and I thought, like, wow, I can't believe how much I was beating around the bush and not, like, articulating my thoughts well. But it's one of those classic things, right, where it was a lot more evident to me and I exaggerated it in my head much more than the viewers probably noticed anything. I find that a lot with content creation in general. I think pretty much every streamer, content creator, YouTuber has gone through the process where they like start and stop a recording multiple times trying to get it just right, and they feel a lot more self-conscious about it than they should be. But I think one thing that's helped for me is that streaming and content creation has never been my full-time gig. So I don't have the pressure of like feeling obligated to create content all the time, which makes it a lot more fun. And I feel like I just make better content that way and will continue to. Hopefully, I have a lot of longevity with that. Okay, I could try to mate somehow with the two bishops, but I'm just going to get another queen. Maybe I'll get a bishop mate. There we go. Bishop d5. Okay, thank you, Hesse, for the game. Yeah, so right here, you should probably play something like knight e2. Develop your knight, but keep it out of range of a fork. Maybe queen c2. But I kind of like the look of knight e2. I think that's a reasonable move at this point. And if e4, you just back off. No problem. But yeah, that one move pretty much killed you here. Knight gf3, walking into the fork. Thank you for the game. Feral Funk is up next. Let's play e4 against Feral Funk. Big shout out to Lichess for making Lichess plays happen every week. Huge thanks to them for that. And it's a nice way to interact with the community on a regular basis. So I enjoy it every week. Make sure to consider supporting Lichess. Of course, it's totally optional, but you can get the wings next to your name if you become a Lichess patron. There's, I think, a very, very low minimum for that. And you can even do it on a monthly or annual basis. And Lichess is a completely free site and pledges to always remain free. So I think it's a great chess site to support. I'm always thinking about shoving this pawn in here in these types of positions. I think I'm going to do it. You have to be careful about this move because arguably the pawn is getting overextended, but it blocks up black's development so much that now I can play queen e2 and attack the knight. And just debating if there's anything better. I'm going to meet bishop takes d6 with f4 is the point. I don't think there's anything better, so let's do it. You see this a lot in the Alapin, which is the line that I played here, c3 on move 2. Happy Sunday to you as well, Kathleen. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Chris. Yeah, I got the battle tips going. My hair's getting a little bit too long. I have to start putting it up now. The battle tips are going. Let's go f4. You love the studies on Lichess. Yeah, that's a great feature. Also one of my favorite features online. I use the study feature absolutely constantly. For the majority of my teaching, I do it via lichess.org/study. Excellent, excellent tool. It's basically a seamless way to aggregate any number of games or positions. There is a cap to the amount of games and positions you can put into a single study. I think it's 64 games or positions. But you can save everything in one spot. You can annotate. You can run the engine. You can use the opening explorer. And the save function, the ability to just have that you can access at any point in the future is absolute gold. There's not too many features even remotely similar to that online. Hello, Fins0995. John, do you have a girlfriend? I currently do not. No, I'm currently married to the game. Hello, Lucas. I took down the Christmas tree. Yeah, I took it down. I think last stream I had it down as well. It was time. It was time for it to come down. All right. If knight f2, I was going to play most likely bishop e3. So that was the plan there. On this one, I'm thinking knight d5. Knight d5 is screaming to be played. Hitting the queen. Black has to watch f6. Not quite yet because this knight is guarding here, but hits the queen and even the bishop. I'm expecting check, and I'm just going to sidestep. And now if knight f2, again, there's bishop e3. There's also that knight f6 move, which I'm probably going to play. I like knight f6 here. Queen's, or the knight rather, is no longer guarding that square. And where should black step? Because if they go that direction, maybe I can go check and further force the king out. I also always have that bishop e3 move. I guess I'll throw in the check. Might as well just push the king more towards the middle of the board. I'm looking for some sort of mate. I'm not seeing it. D7's guarded. This would be nice, but the rook is guarding there. Not an easy way to lure the rook away, too, so let's just back this off. This seems a little too pedestrian for the position, but I think it's pretty effective. How do I not get lost in lines? I tend to lose much time calculating lines, says Abdo. Yeah, as you get better and better, it just becomes second nature to calculate. Absolutely. And I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. For the majority of you guys watching, chess is way more cognitively demanding move by move than it is for me or other streamers that you guys watch. Thank you for the game, Feral Funk. Yeah, thank you very much. Gotta go. No, I'm just kidding. I just like throwing that one. I've got to go. Bye. Let's put JK just so he knows that I'm kidding. Thanks again. I don't want him to think I'm cutting the conversation short. So yeah, in this variation, Feral Funk, C3 on move 2, look into D5 or knight F6. Those are the two best moves to combat this. Because if you play as you did, white gets to build up this center unopposed is the issue. And these pawns can roll pretty quickly, as you saw in the game. So thank you for the game. But yeah, to further expand on that point I just made, chess is way more cognitively demanding move by move. Let's play knight f3 in this one against Halahan. Good luck. At the lower levels than it is at the higher levels. And I know that sounds obvious, but what I mean is just the sheer amount of mental energy needed to produce like a baseline good decision. You know? Guys like Hikaru, Daniel Naroditsky, Andrew Tang. I'm trying to name some like top streamers that you guys have probably watched. Like really good players who also stream and talk through their thoughts. Those guys legitimately might have to make like 1, 2, 3 tough decisions per game sometimes. And for me, when I'm playing these games, it's kind of the same thing. Like there's such a big skill gap. Like I'm not expending hardly any mental energy doing this. But for you guys, it's going to be different, and you're going to have to go through pain periods and think for a long time on moves and maybe still not make a good decision. And that's how, you know, when push comes to shove, and we do have to do some tough calculations, we often have the mental reserves and the experience behind us to do that. If you played Hikaru or Magnus, it would also be mentally draining for you, right? Absolutely. Actually, for me, so to give you guys some context, this is an interesting move, probably to defend the bishop. My FIDE rating is, I think, 2446. So which puts me in like, let's call it average IM territory. Maybe slightly above average if you like look at all the ratings that IMs are at. Well, let's say average IM. When I'm playing like a 2600 FIDE player, like a good grandmaster, strong grandmaster, or even higher, let's say 2650. I haven't played too many 2700s, unfortunately. I have found that I can often produce a decent and equivalent quality move to them, but it will take me 2 or 3 times longer sometimes to do so. And I have to run through so many iterations, variations in my head, whereas they can produce like a baseline solid grandmaster decision just a lot quicker. You know, and yeah, that adds up real quick, even in a classical game. Hello, Jay Hubi. So I do experience that level of fatigue. Whereas if I'm playing someone, let's call it 200 rating points lower than me, I know for the most part, if I play my normal game, I don't have to do anything special to get winning chances. And there will be some calculation required when push comes to shove to win the game. But my baseline is good enough against those players. Aronian, he plays so fast. Oh yeah, Aronian is a joy to watch. He won again today. Against Esipenko. Actually, it was funny. You guys might have seen if you're following the final leg of the FIDE Grand Prix. Esipenko said he actually prepared for Hikaru today by mistake. He thought he was playing Hikaru when in fact he was playing Aronian as black. That's a real mess up in your preparation. That's a pretty brutal pairing because Aronian is a super dangerous player and always comes with interesting ideas too. I'm actually quite baffled how that happens at that level. Like, I admit I have prepared for the wrong opponent, but it's only happened once and in a pretty low level event. It was a round robin, and I was out of the mix at that point. But how do you prep for the wrong person when like everything's posted online? The field is not even that big. Like, how did that happen? Maybe he explained how that happened. Hello, Smithy Q. Smithy Q says, I think many people have the opposite problem. They calculate too much even when they don't need to. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's another thing, right? There's the famous, thank you for the game, Halahan. That pressure down the C file got you. I don't really like the D5 decision so much, especially paired with Rook B8. I feel like those moves are inconsistent because if you were intending to defend your bishop and kind of stands to reason you would move this knight, I've got to go. All right, well, you know my answer. Bye. Thank you, Halahan. Make sure you use your autocomplete messages. Oh, now I got to get him back. See, I get the last laugh when it comes to this. Now I'm establishing the initiative even after the fact, even after the result of the game was decided. You see how I flipped him? I baited him into saying bye as well, and then I hit him with the I've got to go to make sure I'm leaving on my terms. Even taking down Halahan off the board as well. Oh, all right. I resign. Good game. GG. Okay. Where was I going with that? What were we just talking about? Oh yeah, Smithy Q's comment. Yeah, that's definitely a thing too. There's the famous de Groot analysis, right? I think it was de Groot who wrote the paper comparing how amateurs and masters calculate, where they showed that masters don't necessarily calculate more, but they calculate meaningful variations, whereas amateurs, there's a lot of like noise and static in their conversations, or in their calculations. I've got to go, John, before I resign. Well, the problem is you would have to manually type that in the chat. You can't use the autocomplete messages because those only pop up after the game. So yeah, I like the plan, but there may be a hitch, unfortunately. Is it muted for some reason? I don't hear anything. Yeah, you're probably muted, Messamiliano. I know you can't hear me if that's the case. But no, I don't think we're muted. Hello, Alram says, hi, John, love from India. Thank you very much for tuning in from India. And congrats to India for winning the bid for the next Olympiad. I was really pleased to see that. I think it's in Chennai. I think it's Chennai, where they also had the World Championship that Magnus won against Anand. The first one. Okay, knight h4. Interesting position here. I'm going to go queen b6. Kind of crouching behind my formation here. I've got the two bishops, but white is ready to capture this one. I feel like these pawns are a little brittle, so I'm trying to attack them, put some pressure there. Let's see how white responds. Yule means owl in German. Oh, interesting. Learned something new today. Oh, and this player is from Germany. There you go. Owl. Owls are really interesting animals, aren't they? Okay, now I don't have to automatically recapture, right? I have an in-between move. Question is, am I okay with this alignment if that happens? So like if take, king h1, take, I establish the square formation. I think that's totally safe because my king should be all right. But if there was like a discovered check, like say this pawn was still here and white's pawn was on e5, bishop h7 would be killer, right? So I want to make sure I don't blunder that. Yes, the pawn cube. The rare pawn cube. Has anyone achieved like a pure pawn rectangle, like a 2x3? I don't think I've ever seen that in a game. Actually, that would be impossible. That's probably why I haven't seen that. No, that would be possible. That would be totally possible. I don't know why I'm thinking it's impossible. Has anyone had a 2x3? All right, another pawn's hanging here. I could also go queen e5. Yeah, it's probably more likely to be up the board. No, but it could happen on the second rank, right? But it couldn't be with a pawn on the edge. It would have to be towards the middle. Because then you have the side captures coming in. Okay, I'm talking about cubes too much. I got to win this game. Let's take this. It's common? I don't think so. We got to consult Eric Rosen, yeah. He would know these things. Eric would be like, yes, like in the Chicago Open in 2015 against, such and such master. That possibility was present in analysis. I made a video about it. All right, let's go here. I'm up 2 pawns. Again, crouching behind the cube. Let's go here. Where does the middle one come from? Well, if the pawn cube was like, or the rectangle rather was like here, right? Then you would have at some point a capture like this. And like you'd be taking a piece there, right? Fellow piece or pawn. And the other one would come in from this direction. Oh, opponent hangs. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay, I can't visualize. You're right. The bottom pawn is gone. This is why I'm bad at blindfold chess. Thank you for the game, Mr. Owl. Yeah, you're right. It can't even happen. That's probably why it's so rare. 6th and 7th rank. It can't happen there. It has to be further up the board. Thank you for the game. I think things started to go off the rails right here. Maybe knight h4 is premature. I mean, you could still probably defend here with something like knight e2 and bait me into taking this. But I think you probably want to throw in king h1. Let me show this. King h1, hide the king. Make sure that this is in trouble before you think about a move like knight h4. And I think the game is kind of balanced. Engine seems to prefer black a little bit here, but king h1 would be a good move to just hedge against any tactical mishaps. Dude had a hoot? Yes, he did. Well, we don't know, but all right. Well, if any of you guys establish the pawn rectangle, the 2x3, let me know. I'd love to see a game like that. I mean, in like a sensible way, not just you did it for the lulz against your opponent who was cooperating. Thank you for the game, Yule. Let's go to the next opponent. Red Avalanche. Good luck. Let's play d4 in this one. Should I play some Jobava London? I've been inspired by Grandmaster Hans Niemann's games. Yeah, this is a flexible line. Offers to go into like a French after this and this. I'll continue in Jobava London style. Okay, now I think I should play e4. Right? E4, nah. I'm actually not sure. I'll stick with e3. Yes, he just released that course. That's right. Yep, he released a chessable course on the Jobava London. He's been playing it a lot and against some very good players too. Okay, b6. I'm looking at a quick knight b5 here. That's a move that can be quite annoying for the opponent. Just thinking if this is like an appropriate circumstance to do it. You know what? Let's try it. It looks spicy. Let's go for it. So, of course, threatening to come in on c7, but I have this auxiliary idea, knight e6 as well. Hmm. Maybe you could promote a queen to a pawn to get 3 by 3. If only promoting to a pawn was possible, or keeping your pawn. Now I was thinking here, because I think knight d5 is the only move. And then c4 looked interesting. I don't know if that'll work, though. So I might just have to move my bishop out of the way. Bishop g3. This position looks pretty ripe for a tactic, though, I got to say. I'm scanning. I don't see anything, though. Again, c4, knight takes f4, take a8, take d3. I don't know, king d2, knight takes b2. Kind of wild position is that? That seems a little too risky. I'm going to go here. We'll keep the Jobava bishop. Thank you, I'm Faiz. Thank you. Glad you're liking my videos and you're learning a lot. I thought about bishop e4. I didn't think bishop e4 was anything special, though. Just bishop b7. But we'll see. We'll go back and look with the engine afterwards. a6. That seems like a good move. Again, I'm kind of looking at this. I just don't think it's worth it. Let's just play the knight back. So my opponent has established like a hedgehog formation. And maybe now bishop e4. This might be the time for it. I think this is good timing. And we're aiming up. We're loading up on the diagonal towards that bishop on b7. Hello, Brady Hanks. And Nusmata, thank you for subbing. Look at that. Nusmata, 6 months in advance to the Lichess channel. Amazing. Thank you very much, Nusmata. That is huge support. Greatly appreciate it. Supporting Lichess. Rorkane, black doesn't have a chance to take here. Offers a trade. I guess I got to do it. Normally, I love queen trades, but I try to play a little more enterprising chess when I'm doing Lichess plays. Let's play c3. Let's try to get the knight up here. This is real solid against that bishop. We're liking that. Let's bring the rook over. Now, how to win this position? I get my knight to d5. That definitely helps. Long term, I do have a 4 versus a 3 on this wing, so I'm liking that. But I think in the short term, black's going to have tactical trouble because the knight is so strong here. I could go knight here. That looks pretty good. That probably wins another pawn. The knight is just so well placed on d5. I almost don't want to do that, though. I could play a4 in the style of a famous Bobby Fischer game, actually. This game, Fischer versus Gadia. Model game in the Sicilian involving a knight on d5. Fischer versus Gadia. Not going to take this one. That runs into rook c8. Let's take this one. But yeah, Fischer had a dominant knight on d5 outposted, and he actually played a really interesting rook a1 and a4 to break open the enemy position. All right, all right. Let's go here. Just kind of button everything up. Start pushing. I'm looking pretty secure here. Maybe some minor logistical hurdles because black can try to blockade. Oh, and I just blundered. Let's hope my opponent misses. Black had bishop d2 there. Bishop d2 would have hurt. Time scramble, though. Yeah, my mom did make me take down the tree. Exactly. She requested. She watches the streams. Hi, Mom. She requested that I take it down. She was getting secondhand embarrassment for me. I said, Mom, it's fine. Like the Lichess people, the viewers, they don't care. They like it. They like the tree. They voted in favor of keeping it, in fact. But she's like, John, you got to do it. It's embarrassing. All right, checkmate. Thank you for the game, Red Avalanche. Kind of close at the end with the clock situation. Yeah, you had one moment there. I gave a lot of my edge back with bishop d2. Yeah. Oh, there's people rooting for your demise, Red Avalanche, in this game. Yeah, right here. Rook d1. Terrible move. 5-point blunder. Allowed bishop d2. And I even saw it, and I took a risk. I was like, you know what? If you didn't see it, you're probably just going to recapture. But you had another chance to do it. But yeah, the position up to that point was not looking too hot. Let's see if the engine approves of what I did, starting right about here. Knight b5 is a big theme in the Jobava. Okay, likes queen f3 better. I think one of you mentioned that move. Thought about it. I didn't think it was anything special. Knight c6, but I guess it's kind of similar, but maybe better in some way. Black's knight is already committed here. Okay. What about that moment I was mentioning? Asla Papa, you were right. Bishop e4. Are you sure you weren't using Stockfish, Asla Papa? You swore that you weren't. Yeah, bishop e4. I just thought this would be the answer. But I guess it's similar to the game. I could go knight c3. Queen g3 is a nice dynamic move, hitting multiple points as well. Yeah, this looks like a lot of pressure. So that's often what happens in the Jobava London, which is characterized by d4, followed by knight c3 and bishop f4. I think on Lichess they call this the Jobava rapport system, or I guess Horowitz defense. That's what Black played, which is e6. But Richard Rapport is sometimes associated with this opening too. But you see a lot of early piece play by White. So thanks for the game, Red Avalanche. Yeah, I probably just would not play this move. C5 even is maybe a little suspect. Kind of leaves you open to attack on the 5th rank. Thanks again. Oh, look at this. Nice and Bean. You won the lottery. Nice and Ben. You won the lottery. You're playing me twice within the first 40 minutes of this stream. Okay, I'll play Scandy this time. We played Sicilian in the first game. And I have black in both games. It's always the 2200s who win the lottery, right? They're already well off. They already have a nice rating. The rich get richer. I'm telling you. You like 1200s, 1400s. You've been waiting multiple streams to get a game, and this 2200 just comes in, and yep, I'll take those multiple games against John. Hello, Benjamin. How do you remember all the games? Yeah, again, it's kind of an experience thing. As you play a lot of chess, you remember your games pretty accurately a lot of times. I think I speak for a lot of chess players who've played a lot of like online and also tournament games, though. I much more remember what happened in a game versus like the details of where the game was played, like if it was at a tournament, or extraneous information beyond the moves themselves. Sometimes I will not remember a game, period. But once I start playing through the moves, I immediately am taken back to that event, the circumstances, and especially what actually happened, what transpired in the game. Ooh, typical mistake here. Take. Oh no, I'm forked. Thing is, though, White's bishop on d2 is loose at the end of this line. So that's a tactic I've seen oftentimes in Scandy. So we're going to pick that up. Yeah, very good parallel. Smithy Q says it's similar to how musicians remember so many songs. Exactly. Like, have you guys ever been to one of those like piano bars, like dueling piano bars? It's pretty remarkable. So, if you haven't been before, it's typically a format where you have one or two piano players and they just take song requests. And, a lot of times people request, it's typically a rowdy atmosphere, it's very loud. People often request like very popular songs, classic rock, really well known stuff. But a lot of times people request songs that are less known. And these musicians often can just play them as if on site, even though many of them they played before. And I think that's a very good parallel to how like a chess master can look at a position and more or less know roughly what the best move is without having seen it before. I'm really, really impressed. Can I trap this rook? I'm like on the verge of trapping this piece. But I'm really impressed by those like dueling piano players because that level of like working knowledge um, of music is just pretty remarkable to me. 92 is kind of risky, but is it really risky? Because I can always take their bishop if needed. I'm still like kind of vaguely trying to trap this. I guess I'll play it. Okay, I believe you, Asa Papa. All right, let's go here. I maybe even should have kept my knight, but we're going to play with the bishop against the knight up a pawn. Don't have to take yet, though. Again, I'm still looking at this. Like that rook it's taunting me. It's nearly trapped. All right, we're going to try to lay the last little b6. Yeah, let's try b6. Rooks tend not to do well in the center of the board in a crowded position because they can get hit so many times. Rooks are long-range pieces. Numeroid says, hello, Numeroid, by the way, one of our Lichess mods. I have not memorized a single chess game. You should try to memorize the Morphy versus the Duke game. That's a good place to start. Yeah, this move kind of gets out, doesn't it? Where's that knight really going, though? Probably just going to move the rook and try to put it in place. Let's go here. Hello, Cruel. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was on Levy's podcast recently. Thank you for dropping a line. Let's go here. Now this rook has a little more scope. It can go over here, for instance. I'm trying to like create some uncomfortable pressure for white to deal with. Like if I can induce this move, knight c4 is good. But my opponent's defending pretty tidily. I probably just got to take now. Do I really push my luck with knight b1? Nah. We're not going to do that. Now we just need to play fast. Go a4. Start grabbing space with the pawns. It's going to be a time scramble. Let's restrict that knight fully. Rook e2. Oh, now this is instructive. We're going to do like this. Let's go here. Oh, he was fast, but I got him. GG. Well played. Yeah, he was fast. Was that pawn endgame winning? I kind of simplified because it looked thematic and time was getting low. I could have squeezed that more, but if you have a chance to go into a pawn endgame, you always got to look at it. And I was fairly confident it was winning, and it looks like it is. So yeah, I sacked the rook for the knight. but then we're going to win the material back as I go bishop d3. I'm up a pawn. The only problem is that pawn is backward, but this e4 clearance move is a nice idea, and I'm just going to try to run white out of moves so that I eventually win that pawn. Yeah, so here, white has run out of safe pawn moves. We were pre-moving a little bit. I was trying not to lose on time. Yeah, this is a winning position. So thanks for the game. That tactic, by the way, I mentioned that's typical. That's an alignment tactic you see a lot in the Scandi, actually. With the rook sitting here, even though there's a lot of traffic in the way, knight e5 looks like, after the trades, that black's going to lose a piece. It normally would. But again, because of the hanging bishop on d2, works out for black. You guys almost got me, yeah. We still got a ways to go. You still have an hour and 15 minutes to make it happen. Michael Scarn, you're up. Hello, Rohit. You can send me a challenge. I am Fins, F-I-N-S, here on Lichess. Send me a 3+0 challenge. Thank you, John Stevenson. Also listen to the podcast. Appreciate it. And yeah, tick, to answer your question, we are both live on YouTube and Twitch right now. Both platforms. You're terrible at king and pawn endings. Definitely good for you to study them because they are pretty fundamental. Yeah. If you guys were to study king and pawn endings specifically, what would you guys recommend? I know of some resources off the top of my head, but I'm curious what the chat would recommend. Let's just say king and pawn endings, nothing more complicated than that. So not like getting into rook and pawn theory. Someone said Duretsky. I knew someone was going to say that. That might be a little above that person's level who's asking. For Mark Duretsky stuff, I wouldn't recommend getting into that stuff unless you're already about 1800 at minimum, probably. Yeah, there's some modules on Lichess that you can use. That's right. I was curious about that. That's kind of why I wanted to ask you guys, because I have not used this myself. But check out Chess Basics and Practice. There's probably some decent modules. Definitely 100 endgames you must know. Yep, that's a good one. Absolutely. Let's go e6 here. Silman's Complete Endgame Course. That's a really good recommendation. I like that book a lot. Yeah, I actually think that's Silman's best book. That's a very good recommendation. What's cool about that book is it's broken down by rating. So you can kind of line up where you're at rating-wise with the material that he recommends. So he really takes you through all the steps. Okay, now I'm going to take en passant because it's morally forced, right? This is a favorable structure for black because white has weak pawns here and here, and my structure is one uninterrupted chain. And it's so promising that I may continue trading down. I may just trade the queens here. Only thing is, I do want to stop h4, h5 thereafter, so maybe I should chill first, like knight d7. Can white go bishop g6? Nah, I don't buy that. I'm not afraid of bishop g6 because then I will insert the trade. Yeah, Silman is an excellent author. I would say he's a little polarizing. Yeah, f5 is interesting. I looked at this move. I don't think it works. I can take and then throw in bishop h6 and then take here, or just take here and try to bait my opponent. You know, I'm going to do that because I'm kind of evil like that. I'm going to try to bait my opponent into taking and then throw in the check. That was evil. I'm kind of sorry about that, Michael Scarn, but not really. That was pretty satisfying. But Michael Scarn was relying on this counterattack. And now I think I can rotate the knight. Rotate, as Hikaru says. Rotate the knight to e6 to guard f4 and also attack d4. Yeah, thank you for the game. Thank you. Thank you for the game. Why is he polarizing? Well, you know, I think, for example, Silman's How to Reassess Your Chess and the Amateur's Mind. they are often like kind of lauded as very good middle game books and books on how to improve your chess thought process in general. But there are others, like International Master Willie Hendricks, for instance, wrote a book called Move First, Think Later, where he actually discusses Silman a lot. Michael Scarn, by the way, I would not recommend handling the king side like you did. G4, I think, is a mistake. And probably you should keep the dark square bishop, like bishop f2, and gradually play for g4, but it may take some time. And you might need to take my knight with your light square bishop. Thanks to the game. So, yeah, there are some other authors and notable personalities who have said that they don't think Silman's work is as useful as it's purported to be. I have mixed thoughts on that because I do think sometimes with Silman's work and his middle game discussions and his talk about the concept of the imbalances, for instance, he assumes a level from the reader that is just not realistic. And he sometimes presents positions in a way that makes it seem like someone at a certain rating level could find the move or the idea in question, whereas in fact it's some like hindsight bias and maybe his own understanding as an IM superimposed on what he thinks someone at that rating level is capable of. So I do see some of that coming up in his writing. But again, you're going to get differing opinions about him, and he is a great author. Have I read much of Yasser's work? Not in years. I have some of his Winning Chess series. Very good books. But I haven't read him in a long time. Oh, yeah. Magnus Touch Endgame. I really enjoyed recording that with Magnus. That was awesome. There's some remarkable endgames he talks about in there. Hello, Tino from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Thank you. Shout out to Tino. Thank you for tuning in. All right. This is a line I sometimes play against the C3 Sicilian. It's interesting. Let's go Queen C8. I'm going to try to do French style, a trade of bishops here. The light square bishops. That could be true being bad at chess. He is kind of a dogmatic writer. That's for sure. So I'm trading the light square bishops because this piece is pretty good for white, especially if white ever wants to play e4. So I'm looking to initiate that trade. That tactic was similar to what Carlsen did to Duda yesterday, a nice in-between move to win a piece. Yeah, always got to look at those in-between moves, the bishop h6 idea. Hello, Akash Plays Chess. Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Greetings to Rohit once again. Says, how can I improve my chess skills without investing money? I am stuck at the Chess 1800 Blitz. Well, you can definitely take advantage of some of the tools that I've been mentioning. Let's take here, by the way. Certainly with YouTube, Twitch, that would be my go-to resource or resources without investing anything. Looking for streamers, guys like Daniel Naroditsky, for example, who I think do an awesome job. Extremely high-level players, high-level understanding, and his series, his speedrun series, where he talks through his thought process against lower-rated players. I mean, that's pretty priceless for no investment on your end in particular. My position looks a little uncomfortable here. I'm trying to trade in order to release some of the tension. I don't think it's anything too concerning. D5 would be nice if it was not for this. I want to play D5, but I don't think it achieves much. It actually, it might be a theme coming up, but nah, it just doesn't do anything right now. Let's go here. I can try for knight A5. Ooh, I might have maybe blundered. I should probably defend this first before I get too crazy here. Or I could take and then go here. That might be even better, huh? He's ready to use that outpost. Let's go here. Let's do this first. All right, now we're going to trade. And how do I unwind my position against these knights? Let's take here. Knight in. We got dueling outposts going on. Have to be ready for rook f3, though. Rook f3 is a possibility here. Yeah, that's right. There are some books in the public domain. That is true. For example, Capablanca's book, Fundamentals. The copyright on it has expired, so anyone is free to use that book. Actually, there's a Lichess study with all the positions from Capablanca's Fundamentals on Lichess. Okay, let's go here. Trying to keep a little bit of tension. I'm probably going to take this knight next, though. Probably. Let's go here. It's going to be a time scramble. That's coming up. I'm wheeling around with my knight. I'm trying to create some advantage. Oh, and I'm going to come back and win this pawn. That knight just gave white too many problems. Okay. Pretty good, Musa MSG. Good game. I think you might have been better right around here. I like the grip that your knights have on those d6 squares. Looks like the engine agrees. Yeah, so, black's I'm trying to play in creative fashion here, giving white d4. But truthfully, in this position, after c3, d5 and knight f6 are generally regarded as the best moves, and black should usually stick to those. Thank you for the game. All right, Blundering Noob. We've played a couple times. You are up. Good luck, Blundering Noob. How about Modern Chess Strategy by Pachman? I have that book, but I never read it, surprisingly. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you, Blundering Noob. Let's play... let's play a Nimzovich opening, knight c6. I don't know why. I hardly ever play this move, but let's do it. Yeah, so if they go here, I believe e5 is regarded as the way to handle this. This does offer a transposition to a Scotch game, though. White could go knight f3 if they want. We're in a Scotch. This one, while natural, I believe is supposed to be totally fine for black because you start rotating the knight to the king side. Okay, someone on YouTube really likes Magnus. He's writing Magnus a lot with a bunch of hearts. Oh, thank you, a youthful porpoise. Appreciate it. And now here, bishop c5 is a good policy. Developing the bishop, attacking f2, maybe looking to sneak this in if possible. I'm liking this. I am liking my position. Should I go d6? Nah, let's play knight f6 first. All right. Hello, Norwegian Giant. Good to see you, man. Been a while. Now let's play d6. So we've got some like King's Indian vibes here. Even though it's an unusual King's Indian with the bishop over here instead of on this side of the board. But white structure is similar to the classical kid. Now, like a King's Indian, I can think about moving this knight and playing for f5. But you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to play a5 so that if white attacks my bishop, I can drop back here. I want to keep that dark square bishop. It's pretty useful. And I would love a trade of white's bishop for my knight. So I would welcome that. How am I streaming on two places at once? Are you using OBS for this? So my understanding is you can do that by setting it up, not even through the recording software itself, but with stream keys. But you could ask one of the mods how they do that. They're controlling the production. But I'm just using my regular recording software. I do have a stream key, though. Should I take? Kind of blocks up the center. I have mixed feelings about it. I think I am going to take, and then I'm going to go put the knight on c5. Hello, Ricardo. Well, thank you. Rafster says, you are definitely a strong IM. Are you ever going to try to push the GM? Probably answered this many times. That is true. I have answered that many, many times, but I don't mind. So I have one Grandmaster norm, and my FIDE rating is like 55 some points away from GM. I would have a lot of work to do. I don't have any immediate plans to go for Grandmaster. It's, on paper, not really a thing that's worth it. Certainly financially, it's not. So I may do it again. I'm 35 right now, so I am getting a little up there in age when it comes to like pursuing something like that. I definitely don't feel like it's out of reach for me, but I would need to devote a solid, this is a nifty response because I'm on the queen, a solid year or two, I feel, to make like a real proper go at it. And it's just not a high priority for me. You should get to GM so people stop asking that question, says Smithy Q. You may have a point. But I have said before, too, it's better to be stronger in a lower category than weaker at a higher category. We've talked about this at length before. You want to be like, let's say you're in the 1200s. You love to have a rating like 1290, 1295, 1297 versus being a weak 1300. You don't want to be that player who's 1301, 1302 and just like sitting on your rating. No. You want to be an active 1299, 1298. You might want to break Ben Feingold's record. Isn't he the oldest GM? No, there's been some instances of players older than Ben who have achieved the Grandmaster title. So someone in the chat will probably know or can look it up. Ooh, that drops the rook. But Ben was, quite old in the scheme of things when it comes to earning the Grandmaster title. Ben was a very strong IM, super strong IM, well over 2,500 FIDE for quite a while before he became an official Grandmaster. Thank you, Blundering Noob, for the game. Thank you. I've got to go. All right, bye. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, this variation with knight c6, I think for most e4 players out there, let me flip this around. The best practical thing to do against this is to play knight f3 or knight c3. If you meet e4, e5 with knight f3, then you're best advised to meet knight c6 with also knight f3, because truthfully, the best that black has here is just to play e5. Black can play d5 and try to enter a Scandi, but that's kind of a sketchy variation of the Scandi with the knight already committed here. Black can also play d6, taking into a Pierce, but I think white's better there. So for all intents and purposes, I think this is the way to go. Thanks for the game, Blundering Noob. All right. Walt H. White, 2445. Oh, man. Playing Walter White. Here we go. Let's break out the A repertoire. Knight f3 on move 1. All right, I'm sorry. Get your pillows out. We're playing the exchange, Slav. I had to do it. I score well with this opening. I had to try it. Let's play e3. Now, I might spice it up. Okay, my opponent is maybe trying to spice it up here. So if I take knight e4, is that really the thing? Let me think. I feel like I've looked at this before, but I don't know. Take. That seems kind of boring. Now, let's take with the pawn. I was thinking about taking with the bishop, but let's take this way. Now, here, the problem is I can't really take this, I don't think. Because there's issues with my queen being overloaded. So I was just thinking take with the knight. Knight takes knight, that is. Queen a4 also comes to mind. Queen a4, queen d7, or bishop d7, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to take this way. I know, resident sleeper variation. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to spice it up. I'm thinking about playing e6 if I get a chance. Okay, here, I don't automatically have to recapture. I could insert a check if I wanted. That's one option. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to try to make it interesting, you guys. E6. I want to play e6 somewhere. Now? Trying to block up the position. But there's also queen a5, which I probably have to pay some heed to. Bishop c4. Nothing really doing here. I just got to do this. I'm sorry, guys. I tried. We still have a game ahead of us, but it looks like both our bishops are going to be kind of oddly like locked out of the position for the time being. Yeah, this is actually still pretty interesting, but it's going to be symmetric if black plays e6. So, you know, sometimes those symmetric positions can quickly devolve into a boring equal game. Are we allowed to send challenges? Absolutely. There are 50 plus people who have challenged me already. So feel free to send yours. All right, I'm going to castle here. Rook d1. I have a slight initiative, I feel. Very slight. But it is present. Take. Rook d7. Rook c1. Let's try. I know my own back rank's kind of weak, but I'm going to try it. It's a double attack. If check, bishop f1, bishop g4. I don't feel like that should work. I can take e7. I can also maybe insert f3 somewhere. Probably insert f3 first, actually. Now, moment of truth, do I take or do I play a very like professional move first? G4. G4 looks kind of nice here, I gotta say. Yeah, let's play G4. That makes my king a little more comfortable. Oh, I gotta watch my time, though. Remember, John, this player's 2,400. They're not going to give you a second chance if you get too far behind. This looks good. I think this position is probably winning for me, but I need to pick up the pace. Okay. Take. Problem for black is it's really hard for them to create a threat around my king now. These guys are just out of the game. He's probably going to start getting kind of desperate with some of the pawn pushes. Let's go here. Let's do this. Thinking maybe of bouncing the bishop here. If h5, I probably play h3. That's like a convenient move. But he's going to start trying to break out with his pawns because I don't know what else my opponent would do here. So don't be surprised to see something like f5 happen soon or f6. King there. Okay. Now I unleash this. Here we go. Let's go here. This just looks uncomfortable. Maybe I do a new plan like this and I try to attack this bishop. This is weird. Like the dueling bishops in this game. Really? That move. I guess that is legal. That's a crazy move, actually. Respect. All right, I'm fine with that one dropping off. I don't care too much about that pawn. Oh, I dropped my rook. I won with my remaining pawn. Okay, that was my one time. One time. That was my one time in this Lichess play stream. GG. Oh, he sent a rematch. I wonder if this is a player who is just randomly challenging me and not necessarily because of Lichess plays. That was pretty clean, I think, up until the very end. Bishop e7 was a great defense. I mean, that's probably the only move. I was bamboozled by that move. In hindsight, I should probably just start advancing the pawn. I kind of fiddled around with my bishop. I mean, this still feels winning. But I made a hash of it, that's for sure. Let's see. Let's take a quick peek. What's up with this opening? This is all fine. White is a little bit better despite the symmetric looking position. White has a slight initiative because I get my rook in the game first. Wants me to play g4 around here. Ooh, and this was bad. Wait, why is this bad? Check. I thought bishop f1. King f8. I didn't see king f8. King f8, and then if I take b7, is bishop g4 a problem? Probably. Oh, g5. That's subtle. g5 here, and then bishop g4? Uh-huh. This is always something that has to be on my radar. Attacking the pin bishop. That's why I was commenting so favorably about, yeah, here I found g4. That was a key move. This is +4, so this is winning for white because I guard that pawn. But, you know, credit to my opponent. My opponent came up with some really inspired defense. I thought they were going to collapse here. But bishop e7, great move. Paradoxical, it looks like, you know, they're creating issues for them, but I don't have any good discovery because if take, even though it's double check, black takes with the king. Excuse me. Yeah, so again, still winning here, but time. I didn't do a very good job of playing this. I was just trying not to lose on time at this point. Oh, I had bishop e8. That was crushing. Thank you, Blunderchamp and Malcolm. All right, good game though. So yeah, even though lines like the exchange Slav get, I like that username by the way, IBM Shallow Blue. That's a great username. Even though openings like the exchange Slav get a bad rap, they can be quite interesting. They can be real sharp and nuanced. G4, a favorite move of GM Stockfisher, says, okay, believe you. Yeah, exactly. G4, H4. You could almost evaluate someone's chess potential by the circumstances in which they play one of those moves. Good luck to Cartman's Ghost, frequent viewer. Tempted to fishing pole it here. Nah, not sound. Oh no, Cartman. You killed the bishop. I'm sorry it ended that way. I feel bad for you. G4 already a little meh. I don't like G4 so much. Maybe you should play bishop e2 here and just try to break the pin that way. That might have been a better thing to do. Thanks for the opportunity. Yep, my pleasure. Thank you. I wanted to do G to G or buy, but that seemed too cruel when your opponent sends a nice message. And again, Cartman's Ghost is a frequent viewer. Sorry for the badly... Oh, I feel bad for him now. Yeah, it happens. There's always next time, Cartman's Ghost. We'll see you next week, probably. Hey, you might get another game in this stream, too, like I am Ben. Gethy Pex. All right, what should I play here? Let's try another Jobava. I played one Jobava London this stream so far. Let's see if we can do it again. Again, this variation. Annoying. Knight f6, e6. All right, this time I am going to play this e4 move. If the opponent is offering the center like this, at some point you got to take them up on it. How strong was Andrew Tang OTB? I'm just kind of laughing because It sounds like he died or something. Like you're talking about him in the past tense. Like, he's like 22 years old. No, he's very strong. I think he's a little under 2,500 FIDE now. But I think he's either graduated or close to graduating. And yeah, he's real strong. He really shines in fast chess. Oh, and that knight is out on a limb here. It's not safe anymore. Pouring out for Andrew, yes. Press F to pay respects to Penguin GM1. I don't know why that message was so funny for me, but just like the past tense caught me off guard. So up a piece here. Let's storm with the pawns. How long will I be doing Lichess plays, or is it indefinite? Yeah, I'm kind of like required by Lichess to just stream until I physically can't anymore. They really are strict about that, me putting in my hours every week. No, of course not. Lichess is, I think they're pretty flexible, so I'm happy to continue doing it as long as they would like me to. I look forward to it, like I said, every week. So it's completely up to them. There are other streamers who do Lichess plays too, so and I think that's good too to get other people in the mix for sure. But I leave that completely up to them. And it's 2 hours every week when I do it. Andrew is 2508 FIDE right now. Oh, nice. I thought he was below 2,500 for some reason, but if he is below 2,500, it's usually not for long. It would be great for Lichess to make it everyday event with different streamers. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be a bigger outlay in terms of their budget, because I do get paid for this. I want to be clear. But yeah, they do it frequently and with other streamers enough where I think it's very interesting for people, and they get a chance to play multiple people, multiple streamers. Like they had Shakhriyar Mamedyarov doing it a couple times. That was really cool to see. I'm tempted to sack here. Should I do it? Let's try. I'm already up a piece, so I can give some back. There's a lot of Damiano mate ideas. And you know what I'm going to do with King G8? What is the what's the word I'm trying to use here? The thematic thing to do against King G8. If we want to open this bad boy up, what is the thematic? Rook H8. That is a creative move, Malcolm. Teleport the rook to that square. Yes, H6. H6 is exactly what I was thinking. Create maximum tension here between these pawns. Because when you're attacking your opponent's king, you typically want open lines around that king. So that's what we're going for here. Queen D5. That's an interesting move. I feel I'm close to winning here, but I need to be careful because queen takes A2 could be a threat. Gethypex is going for it. It's probably the right call, like I said. Take. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's fine to do this. This could get interesting. Watch this. I think it's fine to do this. Teleporting the queen to H7 would be even better. I agree. So if here, well, maybe not even threatening a whole lot. Threatening a perpetual, I guess. Of some, maybe not even perpetual. Threatening some stuff around my king, let's call it. I might go for a forced or attempted forced checkmate sequence. We shall see. I feel like there's a mate here. Okay, now here I can take on F7, or I can play that Rook H8 move, like Rook H8, Rook H7. I think that's probably going to win. Bishop H6 too. Bishop H6, king takes H8 though. Let's go check. Bails that direction. This is not very exciting, but I think I'm just going to do this. And then like here. I don't know. There might have been a force mate. Did you guys see better checkmate idea. Only defense here for black, by the way, is king over and bishop e8, but that's going to lose. Thank you for the game, Gethy Pex. That knight on h5 just got you in the out of the opening. That's why I played e5 to take away the square from the knight, and then g4 is a big threat. Let's think. I wasn't seeing an absolutely forced mate here. That's what I played. Rook over. Oh, wait. Knight e5. Oh, mate in 9 or 8. Knight e5. Starting with just the casual knight jump to the middle. The way I did it is mate in 9. What did I miss? G takes f7. You know, that's kind of instructive because sometimes the strongest moves in an attack are actually not checks. They are moves that do not force the king out of the danger zone, but you just build the threats. And here the threat is to check king here and then queen with checkmate, actually. So if black plays, I don't know, something like this. That is a mate on the board. Double check. When it's double check, the king always has to move. Also, the queen takes away 2 flight squares to the 6th rank. So evidently, that's just hard to meet. The way I played it, yeah, also plenty sufficient. Force mate here. Just in more moves. This was the only way I saw to keep the game going. I was going to play knight e5 against this. Most likely. Looking for rook d7. But bishop f4 is even better, apparently. All right. Thank you for the game, Gethy Pex. So watch that knight out on the edge of the board. That can hurt. Oh, and I get a game with IBM Shallow Blue. Is this rigged? Is the accept random challenge button rigged? I was just praising this player's name and immediately get a game with them. No, I do believe it's random. Okay, let's play this way. E3. Oh, yeah, that was you, Hypoxor? Yeah, thanks for the game. Same, yeah, Numeroid. We've played before, right, Numeroid? Oh, that's good to hear, Illusion. On YouTube. Thank you, Brett, by the way. Watch out for this. Do not play knight e4, IBM Shallow Blue. Do not attack my queen. I know it's tempting. Do not do it. Okay? I'm going to give them another chance. Good take here. But you know what? Actually, let's really make this interesting for IBM Shallow Blue. Do not move this knight unless you're going to put it on e8. That is the only acceptable knight move. Okay. Now you have a few more acceptable knight moves. One more. There we go. Okay, good. So that shows me that IBM Shallow Blue was thinking about the long-range impact of the queen-bishop battery here. So that's good. Now, I could take here. Queen takes d5. That defends the knight, so this otherwise would open the attack. I'm still considering it because it's probably going to be a move I want to play anyways, so I'm going to do it. He might be listening, yeah. It's possible. That's not always an advantage, though, because there is a bit of a delay. And sometimes I throw curveballs. Now 94. Okay. All right, all right. Let's go here. I'm willing to give this pawn at some point if black ever wants to take it. I'm probably going to end up castling queenside. Oh, Divine Solar also subbing for 6 months in advance. Thank you very much, Divine Solar, for supporting Lichess. Awesome to see. Okay. Really only one move here. I don't think you can really get fancy because rook g1 at minimum defends. Oh, okay, I was not expecting that. I don't know what went wrong there for IBM Shallow Blue. Because queen takes g5 is still very much a game. I guess I have bishop a3 against that if I want to, but that's not super convincing or anything yet. So, yeah, you were doing all right. Knight c5 might have been a little sketchy because your knight is undefended there. It's aligned with the queen. Like, if ever I take, that knight's a problem. I think IBM Shallow Blue, you should probably just play like b6, bishop b7, c5. That would be the way to handle this. And I'm not a big fan of this early trade of the bishop for the knight with this type of thing. So thank you for the game. All right, who do we have next? Jackson, you're up. Good luck, Jackson. I'm playing e4 against you. How many of you guys were involved in chess or old enough? Let's play Smith-Morra Gambit for the Kasparov versus Deep Blue and Deeper Blue matches. Good response here, by the way. Declining the Gambit. Element asks, why do I like the Scandinavian so much? Mostly because I've been playing it for such a long time, and some local players were playing it at the time I learned it. So it has a lot of nostalgic value to me. I think the second match, which is the first like real chess match that I watched, I think that was 97. I remember following it in the newspaper, and I still have the newspaper clippings from that match. It was 97 or 96. I think it was 97. Is that true, Numeroid? You're that young? Didn't know that. Yeah. I think it's kind of a consensus that Kasparov was actually stronger than Deep Blue when he lost to Deep Blue in that match. I think he like psyched himself out. He was trying all this anti-computer prep, and the game that he lost in Game 7 to the Engine in that line of the Caro-Kann just got crushed. Like, he never would have played that way against a fellow Grandmaster. Okay, if I had a lot of confidence in Black making a mistake here, I would pre-move my next move. But I can't assume the opponent's going to blunder, even though this would be a typical blunder at this level. Jackson's going to play a better move. Come on, Jackson. That would be a gutsy pre-move. It would be like a cheap little laugh if it happened, but I don't want to insult my opponent or take a big risk like that. Yeah, he saw it. He blocked it. So it turns out if I did pre-move, it wouldn't have registered. But a lot of people, a surprising amount of people here, they would castle. Trust me. They would castle and they would walk into Queen H7 mate. Yeah. Okay, let's get creative. Let's play H4. Anticipating maybe black castling. Then I'm going to go H5. Hello, Scoobot. Thank you very much. Oh, appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words. Best wishes for your further chess improvement. All right, my opponent's getting low on time. Let's go. H5, here we go. Using the H-pawn as an attacking weapon. I think black's position is still totally fine, but he's going to have to make some tough decisions low on the clock. Let's go. Should I play rook takes H5? Should I play knight G5? Both moves are tempting to me. Ooh. You know what? Let's go for it. Now knight G5 or bishop H7? Let's go all in. I'm really going to push Jackson to the limit here. Actually, this is pretty terrible, but let's see how he responds. Only because he has 20 seconds left. Oh, best move, King G6. A bold move. Anything else, I was going to take this pawn, and I can check him, but, you know, those checks aren't anything special, right? So let's go G4. Take. Okay, that maybe is a little sketchy, but he can still probably defend here. Yep, goes back. I'm trying to get him to eat my pawn, but he's not going to cooperate. And now he's winning, but no time. No time on the clock. All right, thank you for the game, Jackson. Yeah, I kind of just charged you here and played off of your time situation. But you defended well. To your credit, King G6. Does any other move than King G6 lose? That's an interesting question. What do you guys think? I think King G7 and King G8 also should... King G7 might be okay. This one might be acceptable, but King H8 is definitely going to lose. Queen H5, Queen H7. Well, even then, King G7. I don't know. Let's check. Okay, the engine absolutely hates this sack. Yeah, you can see King G6 definitely the best move, though. King G7 acceptable, but this is unpleasant because I have in mind Queen H7, and if he steps here, he runs into Queen F7. He's going to get mated soon. So kudos. Like sometimes that's instructive. Like sometimes with this Greek gift style sacrifice, Bishop H7, the best thing is to step out with your king. Right. Does not allow Queen takes H5. That's right. And I could throw in a check here, but he's always blocking with the pawn. So actually, Black's king is perfectly safe. Oh, hello, Jackson. Yeah, no increment is tough. Kudos to you. And I was seeing in the game, I don't know if you were listening or not, probably not, but good job like noticing the power of the diagonal battery here. You did not castle early. Like you clearly were planning against that. So good job there. Thanks for the game. And you played the opening well, too. That line you played against the Smith-Morra is correct, or the good way to decline it. The resident sheep. Okay. Oh, you never seen the line I played? Do you mean with Queen takes D4? Yeah, Queen takes D4 is an interesting little approach I sometimes play. All right, what do I want to do against this line? Let's play... I'll just stick to the script. Let's play G3. This is the usual variation. This is one line of the D-pawn openings where white commonly fianchettos. Okay, early capture. This is some trendy stuff. Like black can go bishop C5 here. And play to sacrifice a pawn in the center. How many challenges do I have? I have 50 plus challenges right now. So a lot of challenges. We still got a little bit of time. I think bishop B6 was actually the move there, if I recall correctly. Where black willingly gives the D5 pawn. But we'll check that afterwards. Is this opening called Catalan? No, although this is a Catalan-like setup with G3, bishop G2. This is it's actually black, like kind of dictating this opening. This is the Tarrasch defense. This E6, D5 plus C5 setup. The Tarrasch. Okay, I can go bishop G5 if I want. That would be a principled way to play. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to play knight B5. I'm just going to maneuver for this square and kind of demonstrate that this bishop's a little over its skis on B4. Bishop G5 and D takes C5 is good for black after moving to E7. Yeah, that's a variation as well. I played that from time to time, too. Oh, see you, Wang T. Says, too late in Dubai. I've got to go. Have fun. You actually used I've got to go in a non-satirical sense. Anticipating my autocompletes in the chat. All right. Bishop back. Let's take. I think that's the thing to do here. Should I take again? It kind of repairs the opponent's structure, but I kind of like it in a way. I could also just play rook C1. This is one of these classic positions where white doesn't have like an enormous advantage by any means, but it's pretty comfortable. I think I'm actually going to take here. And then I'm going to do this move, and I'm going to try to blockade the c5 square. Should rename it better than the trash defense. Poor Tarash. His name being slandered. Okay, yeah, now I can go knight c5, and I think I should, because otherwise black's going to play c5. All right, so this is like a stable advantage for me that I'm going to look to increase slowly, unless there's some tactic. Attacks my queen, though. Interesting. All right, so I could trade, or I could maybe play e3. There's also knight takes e6, but probably don't want to do that. I don't know. I mean, there's some argument to be made for e3, although it wrecks my structure a little bit. Let's just take, though. I think I'm going to take and then play b3. Rule out the knight coming to c4. This is the pride of my position right now. That beautiful knight. Even still, this might be a position where black can gradually equalize if they play super accurately over the next like 10, 15 moves. Also thinking like some sort of f4, f5 plan. Not really sensible yet, though. Let's just try to double. Okay. Go here. That knight is so oppressive to black because it stops a4. It's almost like mandatory for black at some point to go here. Maybe black can bring their king up, but I may strike with e4 at some point too, bear in mind. So like if knight e7, for instance, I could trade and then play e4, and I think that'll win me a pawn. That might happen. Yeah, I think I should go for this. We could liquidate to some sort of endgame that may be a draw, but even still, I think I should go for it. Let's go a4. Trying to free up my rook. This rook, that is. Okay, okay. Now let's bring this over. Probably I want to defend this pawn. Okay, this is starting to feel winnable because I have the move rook b5 if I want it. I probably should avail myself of that. I think I can take now. Defend. Still, though, time scramble. Okay. Let's go here. And now the back rank. I've had some games like this before where once you induce the back rank weakness, like you actually get to their king, even though they were previously pressuring your king. Thanks to the game Resident Sheep, tough one. I think probably your only chance in this ending is to play rook takes b5. I think you got to go for that. It might be losing, but maybe... Yeah, I think that's mandatory. Engine just says it's losing. Nothing is good here. It's hard to stop that pawn. You have to reposition your rook. I always have check. I can go back this way if I want. Oh, actually, I can just push on through, huh? Right, because you'd have to play rook d7 here. Yeah, rook d7. This is much trickier, though. Like, this is definitely the way to go. There's a chance I would have misplayed this. Here, here, here. And then you can try to bring your king in. At least for now, the pawn stopped, though. Probably losing, but better chances. Yep, these endgames are tough. And actually, this is one reason, the main reason, I think Kasparov, who played the Tarrasch defense a lot when he was younger, it was his main defense against d4 for a long time in his youth. He stopped playing it, though, because Karpov kept torturing him in these positions where black has a slightly worse pawn structure. So... But yeah, this is one of these endings that's on the border between a win for white and a draw. If you play absolutely perfect, I could see an engine drawing this for black. A4 wants to do, just start liquidating. Yeah, I am running some pretty good hardware. Yeah, that's how I get the nodes up there. Yep. Thanks for the game, Resident Sheep. Who's up next? We got about 20 minutes left. Still time for some games. And the blindfold game, of course. Attack 2007 is next. Good luck. It's always interesting when someone with a username like this actually has like a really strategic, boring style. Attack 2007, are you there? We'll never know. We'll never know what your style is. Okay, I ting. Good luck. 1201. Let's do this. Maris asks, why did you take the knight instead of the bishop there at move 15? Do you mean the previous game? Sorry, I'm just looking over at the chat right now. Because black's bishop was always pretty bad. So I didn't necessarily want to trade it for my knight when he was blocked by his pawns at all times. Let's play a semi-Slav. Now, I could play real aggressive here. Should I do it? Yeah, let's do it. Take on c4. Bishop g5 is one of the most principled moves. But it does allow black to take, and there is some theory here. Okay, let's do bishop b4, I think is the right move here. This game is rated, yes. b5. You allow e5 to be played because then you go after the bishop on g5. You start attacking it. Take. Oh, Hesse, yeah, you can see your game that we played earlier if you go back and watch the VOD. Like on YouTube, I believe you can rewind it even live. You could go back and watch it right now. Or you could just wait for the broadcast to be over, and then you can go back on either Twitch or YouTube to see it. We played pretty early in the stream, so yeah, it'll be back there a ways. This is how black plays in this variation if black decides to take on c4. I know this looks kind of chaotic, but this is actually pretty common for this variation. Even allowing this, very common. Queen c2. Okay, I could take here. Queen h7 is kind of a threat, so I should probably go ahead and capture. Oh, queen e4. Fortunately, I can go queen d5. I was like, is queen e4 a problem on this rook here? But no, thanks to queen d5 in the pin, I'm actually okay. But yeah, suffice it to say, don't play this line as black if you're not comfortable with your king like rolling in the center and you pushing a lot of pawns early on. The move, actually the safest response, if you play semi-Slav and you get this position, the safest response, most reliable too, I think, is knight bd7. That's the Cambridge Springs variation. That is totally acceptable. All right, now here, I got to watch d5 being played. Knight d7 looks pretty normal, but I'm a little bit worried about that. Kind of trying to bust through. I could take some measure against that, like maybe trade on c3 first. That doesn't quite feel right, though. Maybe not bad, though. Like take and then bishop d5. I'm going to do that. Ooh, takes with the pawn. Was not expecting that. Maybe queen d5 now. Let's do queen d5. Yeah, this player's playing really well. It's a sharp position. They have not blundered or anything. I mean, white's probably worse here. White is down a pawn, but now watch this. I'll say that. It's like the ultimate curse. White will play knight e5 or something and get checkmated. Don't do it, I think. Okay, that's safer. Should I push it? Let's put I think to the test. Do not move this knight. Don't move it. Okay, better move. Now I think I'm going to go knight here. And If check, I can probably just play king e7 because the rook's defended. Yeah, no problem. Also, h4 is guarded. So we're bringing the heavy guns into position. Rook's doubling. I'm going to guess Eiting is a player who's like strong, probably doesn't play much blitz, but has a higher rapid rating. We'll check after the game. Ooh, I'm very tempted to do the double exchange sack. The double exchange. You know what? Let's do it. This is Lichess Plays. We go for max fun, max entertainment here. It may not be sound all the time, but we have fun doing it. Attack. Okay, now I can win material. I'm looking if I have mate. I can win material by taking here, and then if king f1, there's this check. I'm thinking if I have a checkmate with like queen g3 or queen h1. Oh, I don't quite see mate. Queen h1, queen f1, queen h4, king e2. Again, there's knight g3 as well. But I don't think there's a checkmate. So let's go for this one. Just winning. Yeah, Eiting's good. Eiting's way better. Eiting is way better than 1200 blitz. Double exchange stack. Don't try this at home. John is a trained professional. Yes, right. That's the warning. GG. Thank you for the game. Let's see if my read was correct. Yeah, about the same blitz rating, but you see the rapid rating a lot higher. So yeah, I'm going to guess that's just someone who doesn't play a whole lot of blitz. Good game. You played well. Yeah, again, this is a line that's just super sharp. The main variation for white is to play e4 straight away when black takes on c4. As played, I don't know. I feel like you probably got to push a little more provocatively around here. I don't know that it's going to work for you. The engines tend to like black in these positions, although it's chaotic. But it is saying d5, like blast open the center while my king is a little disorganized. No rapid on Lichess is always higher at these ranges. A lot of times it is. I wouldn't say always, though. And that's a pretty big difference, 400 point difference. 400 or 500 points. But actually really doesn't like my bishop takes c3 move. It says g4, knight e7. g4, really. Allowing knight e5, encouraging knight e5, and then here. And that's the way to maybe hold up d5. I mean, as a human, I look at this and this looks messy. Like, yeah, I think black's better here, but it looks messy. Engine's like, nah, this is -3. Black's up the equivalent of a piece. Interesting. So thanks for the game. Okay. I think we got about 2 games left in the stream here. Plonsert is next. Let's play e4. Hello, Plonsert with the patron wings. Love to see it. Thanks again to Lichess for making Lichess Plays happen. Thanks again to everyone for tuning in and sending challenges, hanging out in the chat. Oh, Chris asked what kind of computer I'm running. I have a Windows. Yeah, Windows PC. Let's play Italian game. Thank you, Ragaraj, for joining from India. All right, we'll play one of the main variations. Inviting the main line, knight takes e4. By the way, if you guys are interested in playing longer time control games online, I can highly recommend the Lichess leagues. The Lone Wolf League and also the 45 plus 45 League. Maybe someone can even drop a message in the chat about those. Because those are pretty much the best practice you can get online. And so I know many of you watching this play those leagues. But still, a lot of people don't know about them. Do I have my own channel? Yes, I do. Yes, if you search my name, John Bartholomew, you will find it. Thank you for asking. I've been posting on YouTube for a long time. I have over 1,500 videos, 1,600 videos or something on YouTube. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. And also, I stream on Twitch too under John Bartholomew. How do you sign up to one of the Lone Wolf League? They have a website and they're constantly running new seasons. I believe they recently started a season, so it may be too late for the current season, but you can jump in them pretty commonly. If I take, there might be some knight takes d4 business. So I got to mind my move order a little bit. You know what I might play here? I was thinking bishop e3. Could also just take the knight, castle. It's kind of lame, but I think I'm just going to castle. I'd like to try to delay castling or do something more aggressive, but I'm kind of just up a pawn here, and I need to consolidate the position. Are you related to the Pokemon Mew? I cannot confirm or deny. Oh, great to hear that, Abdo. That's amazing progress. Very nice gains by you. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people getting back into chess over the past couple of years. Absolutely. Let's play Rook E1. He is, though. This is not too bad for black. Again, watch the curse of me saying that. Black's going to blunder. I'm going to take with the rook if black takes, because I will be on the bishop here and also the knight. So even though there's f6, I've got that attack on the bishop. All right, this move looks a little uncomfortable now. And now, you guys know what the pattern's going to be here? As soon as a move like this is played, allowing bishop f6, we should see the pattern. What I'm going to go for coming up. It may be possible for black to defend this, but it's going to be real tough. Absolutely. We're going to relocate the queen. I'm going to try to deliver mate with queen h8 here. Some sort of capture at some point, then check here. There's going to be some logistical problems because black can get their queen involved, but it's super uncomfortable for black. Probably the only defense here Plonsert has is to try to get rid of one of my defenders. Especially, or not, one of my attackers, I should say. Especially this bishop. Are you related to Bartholomew, played by John Candy in Spaceballs? Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Yeah, so this tries to defend, but I was thinking c6, bishop d8 is kind of the only thing to do. Yeah, because here I can take the queen. I could also give a check first. Let's give the check first. Oh, and this is doubly brutal because now I won't even go for the queen. I will go for checkmate. All right. Thank you for the game, Plonsert. That was pretty rough for you at the end. I think, even though you were down a pawn, you were defending pretty reasonably. But, one move that can bail you out in these positions, evidently I should castle here. I got to remember that because this position does come up. One move you should always think about on the black side of this opening is d5. So d5 would have been timely right here. And the computer thinks you have no problems after that move because you're using the pins, especially the pin on the knight here. So I can't play knight takes d5. And if bishop takes, queen takes d5, you're using that to attack the bishop and also anchor your knight on e4. So you'd be totally fine. After this, I think white has a pretty attractive position. Yeah, and this is just rough. Once you play g6, I think the damage to the dark squares is pretty significant. The only way I saw you could try to defend would be like this and then here. But, the engine points out this. That's nice. So that if we get this going, the rook is also coming over. Yeah. Even queen h6 would be a threat there. So thank you for the game. All right. You guys know what time it is. This is the last game of the session. We're going to make it a blindfold game as per usual. So you guys will not be able to see the pieces, nor will I. So if you actually want to see the pieces, you can follow me on Lichess Fins and see the game. There'll probably be a link or two dropped in the chats. And otherwise, you can just look from my perspective and see what it's like to play a blindfold game. Maybe test yourself, see if you can follow along. So to go to the blindfold settings, you go to preferences, and then all the way down at the bottom, blindfold chess, invisible pieces. Everyone has this setting. We just click yes. That's blocked by my webcam. But you will see when I take the next challenge, I'm going to be flying blind. Oh, Raisin Bran Crunch, 1974. I am playing white. All right, let's play d4. I really got to focus for this, and I can't get too far behind on the clock, if at all. That's killer if that happens. Let's see. Okay, at least we're playing an opening I'm familiar with. This is Queen's Gambit declined. This is a rated game, too. Oh, man. Prage in the chat. Okay. Let's just keep this real simple. Bishop d3. I found when playing Blindfold Blitz, I gotta like keep the game pretty straightforward, or else I just lose track of it in time scrambles. It's just such a pervasive thing that can happen. So this at least feels okay because the position's pretty normal. Let's go h3. Did he play c6? I was talking. I don't think he's played yeah, he did play c6, actually. Yeah. All right. Castles. It's castle. Thank you, Mark John, for the prage. Okay. Let's back the queen off here. I think that's the right play. Black's probably going to bring the knight into e4 at some point. Maybe not yet because they're blocked. But like bishop f8, knight e4, something along those lines. But for the moment, I like my position. I think this is a little bit better for me. Pretty typical. Raisin Bran Crunch. What do you guys think about Raisin Bran? I don't eat a whole lot of cereal these days, but I didn't mind Raisin Bran. That was like a decent cereal. A little bit high on the sugar, I'd say. Goes b5 right away. Before I even go b4. Okay, let's go here. Okay, now let's jump into the center, attack that pawn. So black moved the knight away, so I'm going to pounce on this one. Honey bunches of oats with almonds. That's pretty good. I remember that being good. Rook c8, yep. Okay. Now, that knight is coming into c4. What am I going to do about that? Maybe I play a4? Let's do it. I'm trying to break up black's pawn structure. Could also maybe play b3, but I'm going to go with a4, just trying to create some tension. I see the position pretty clear right now. And I'm up on the clock. This is promising. I got my coffee. I got the support of the chat. What more could I want? b4. Okay. Just back this off. So now, again, c6 is hit multiple times. I've got the queen and the rook and the knight all converging here. Black only has the one defender, so I might outright win that pawn. He's daring me to take it. I think I should be able to. Black did play b5, right? Yeah, b5. Don't see anything wrong with taking. I'm going to do it. I think he's just going to go queen d7. Okay, take. And then queen c5. Key move. Or do I want to play a5 first? No, let's go queen c5. I see something. Pre-move the capture. So if black takes, knight takes a4, I have knight e7. Very important. Knight e7 is a threat. Kill shot. Oh, it goes there, but that still blunders it. Knight e7, right? There's nothing guarding that square. Take. Oh, he played king f8? Wait a second. Where's the rook? Where is black's other rook? I'm so confused now. Is there a rook here? Where is that other rook? I don't know. I give a check. I don't know. I'm not looking at chat either. I don't want you guys to help. I'm just going to be flying blind now. I do not know where black's other rook is. Fortunately, he has like a few seconds left. I know where my rooks are. They're here and here. All right, check again. Oh, it was on e8. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Oh, my. No, that was check. That was check. It's just, I thought his rook was here. So I thought when I checked him there, his king had to go to the corner. And even though his rook could have taken me, but he didn't want to do that because it was defended. You know, I thought about playing rook e8, but I wasn't sure if I was taking his rook or not. That's why I didn't play it. I didn't want to risk it. That was funny. That was the one piece I was losing track of. Thank you for the game, Raisin Brand. But we get the job done. And I don't think I blundered at the end either. I was still up in exchange. Let's take a peek, though, before we wrap this up. Thanks again to everyone for tuning in today. This is a lot of fun. Once again, I look forward to this every week. Yeah. There's always like one piece in these Blindfold Blitz games. Yeah, I just thought the rook was on f8. And so I was so confused when this sequence happened. I was like, first of all, how did his king get there? And then where is the rook? I was like, is it here? Is it here? I was going to play one of these because I knew he had a rook somewhere, but I didn't know where. It's like playing Battleship with my opponent's pieces. So I was like, I better just keep that rook safe. Like, just protect it. Yeah, I feel pretty good. And at the end, you know, that was my way of trying to find his Battleship. Like, hey, if you take it, I've got the other one backing it up. Analysis says, all right, 37 average centi pawn loss. That's not bad. I'll take that. Ooh, in this position, knight b6. Interesting. I can play knight takes b5. That's a nice shot. I definitely didn't see that. No pun intended. Well, pun intended. But yeah, I didn't realize that this tactic was present, which would win a pawn. I think the way I played it's pretty textbook too, though. A4. I liked A4. The engine's not super impressed because black has issues there. And this little sequence is nice where, yeah, knight e7 becomes a threat. Oh, yeah, it's not a threat if the knight is standing on b6, but if ever black moves the knight, as he did in the game, knight c4, or knight takes a4, then this is working for me. Okay, that was fun. Thanks again, everyone. Thanks to Numeroid and also No Joke Chess for modding. I'm going to send you guys off. We're going to send you guys off. They're going to raid someone here, probably another Lichess streamer. You all take care. Enjoy your week. I'll see you guys next week. We're raiding Vampire Chicken, Jonathan Schrantz. You might know him from the St. Louis Chess Club lectures. Gotta go. Bye.